Hello and welcome to another tutorial by Azure Academy. In this particular tutorial, we're going to be covering how to set up Azure virtual machine scale sets. And the purpose of doing this is because this is a foundational concept for a lot of big data projects where you want to use infrastructure as a service to control the resources that you're setting up on Azure to do your engagements or your data processing or storage. So we're going to walk you through how we can set up a virtual machine scale set on Microsoft Azure. To do that, I'm going to navigate to the portal. Now, if you have not logged in yet, what you need to do is to type in portal.azure.com, and that will take you to the portal. And once you get there, you can browse your subscription and take a look at what is going on over there. But the first thing that we need to get started here is we need to create a resource group. So to do that, we're going to go ahead and set up a resource group in ECUS. So we're going to call that craft demo. All right. So once we do that, the resource group is created. Once the resource group is created, the next thing we need to do is to create a virtual network. So a virtual network is a partition that you create that is private inside Azure. If you're coming from other clouds, it may be called virtual private cloud, but on Azure, we call it a virtual network. Now, once we create the virtual network, we're going to have to set up another partition inside that virtual network called a subnet. And then our virtual machine scale set is going to be created inside that subnet within the virtual network. So let's go ahead and get started with doing that. So we head out into our resource group craft demo. We're going to go ahead now and create a virtual network. So let me do that. So I head out to home. I click virtual network. All right. So now we're going to go ahead and create a virtual network, and we're going to pick our resource group craft demo to do that. Now inside, I'm going to call this craft vnet. For my craft project that we're about to do in a separate video. So I've created the network now. Next thing I need to do is to specify the address space. So for this, we're going to do 10.28.0.0 and then /16. So this should allow us to have up to about 65,000 IP addresses inside this partition. But that's not it. We need to set up, like I said before, the partition inside this network partition called a subnet. And then to do that, we're going to have to specify a smaller unit. And then this will be /20. So, excuse me. So the address range is that. And then we're going to call this craft subnet. So that's the name. All right. So now we have our subnet and we have our virtual network. Next thing is for us to go ahead. We can just do that, and then we're going to review. So we're setting up this virtual network inside the craft demo resource group, and it's called craft vnet. It's going to be inside the region ECUS, and we can proceed to do that. So once we do that, in a few minutes, maybe sometimes in a few seconds, the virtual network is going to be up and running. It typically takes about maybe 1 minute to do so, but it looks like we're done. So now we have our virtual network and we have the subnet inside it. So the virtual network can host up to approximately 65,000 IP addresses, and the subnet can hold about 4,000 IP addresses. So now we have these two things completed. We have created our resource group, we have created our virtual network, we have created our subnet inside the virtual network. Now we're going to deploy the virtual machine scale set inside the subnet. So let's go ahead and do that. Now I'm going to go back to my resource group, craft demo, and then I'm going to add a resource. The resource that I'm going to add is going to be the virtual machine scale set. All right, so we have our virtual machine scale set, and then we're going to pick Ubuntu as the operating system. Now, if you are doing this in production, you can pick the machine type that you need for your particular hardware. But for my demonstration, I'm going to be using this standard A2V2 machine. So we have this set up now. My virtual machine scale set name, I'm going to call it craft. Now the region has to be in the same region as the resource group and the virtual network. And then my username, I'm going to call that craft demo. And then instead of generating a new key pair, I'm going to use an existing public key that I had from a previous video that I generated. So I'm going to put the link to this video in the description. So if you want to find out how you can use Docker containers to generate the public and private key pair, you can do so. So if we do a cat on that particular file, it allows us to see what is inside that file. So we can copy that and put it inside our, private or public key. So we have the machine type is going to be Ubuntu. We have this one. Next, I don't need any disk. Now I would like to be able to access it from my home network. So to do so, I need to specify this. So I have to enable public IP addresses, and then the subnet that I need has to be, let me go back and check. All right, so I need to pick the right virtual network. So craft virtual network, and then I can configure this part. So I have to allow public IP addresses for each of my instances in the virtual machine scale set. The network security group, what I would recommend here is for you to create a new one, and then you should be able to allow IP addresses from your home network to come in here. All right, so now we are almost done. Next thing, we need to go to scaling. I'm gonna need 5 instances, but you can pretty much pick any instance you want. You can pick 5, you can pick 20, you can pick whatever you can afford. So I'll use 2 for now. Let's use 2 for now. And then for management, nothing here. Accept the defaults. Health, accept the default. Advanced fault domain, I don't need too many. I'll just pick 1. So it looks like we are almost done. And then for tags, we can call category equals craft demo, and then we can do a review. So the review says that we're putting this virtual machine scale set inside the craft demo. We're calling it craft. It's going to be in East US region. Ubuntu 18 is the server type, and this is the machine size. It has 2 CPUs and 4 gigs of memory. The public key is the one that I specified, and this is the username. I'm not using spot instances, and I'm going to create 2 instances of this. And we're going to put it inside our craft VNet. And that's pretty much everything. So we have everything that we need. We can download the template, the ARM template, for automating this later without having to click through all these different pages, and then we click create. So this should take a few minutes to come back, and once it is done, that's it. Your virtual machine scale set is available, and you can provision and extract the public IP addresses and the private IP addresses, and you're good to go with the next step in your data journey. So that's what I wanted to cover in this particular video, and that's all it takes for you to set up a virtual machine scale set on Azure. When the virtual machine comes back, you can now, when the scale set is completed, you can now extract the public IP addresses as well as the private IP addresses to put in your automation, and you can proceed with everything that you need for your project. So if you like this particular video, please feel free to let me know what you would like to see. If you want to see similar content, If you have questions about any portion of this particular video, you let me know in the comment section, and feel free to subscribe to my channel and click on the notification icon so that when I have future videos that are similar to this, you will find them. And you can also follow me on Twitter and Instagram, and then on my website you will find content regarding how to store and process data, which I have a course on that. I will also put the link to the course in the description if you're interested, and you can check it out. So for this particular video, that's all I wanted to cover. Thank you very much for your time, and I hope this was easy for you to grasp. And if you have questions, reach out and I will be glad to help. So that's it for now, and I will see you in the next video. Thank you.